E.N.D here. One of the most creatures that when it enters or leaves the battlefield causes a lot of confusion is without any doubt Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan, it's a 7/10 artifact creature, first printed in Darksteel. It's an 8 drop that when it enters or leaves the battlefield, you need to choose a land of each basic land type and destroy them. But how does Sundering Titan works? Scenario 1. I am playing Simic, blue and green. My opponent is playing Rakdos, black and red. When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield, I must choose a land of each basic land type and destroy them. There are 5 basic land types: plains, island, swamp, mountain and forest. I must choose one land for each basic type. Therefore, I will choose the swamp and the mountain on my opponent's side and the forest and the island on my side. I can only skip a basic land type if that type is not in play. In my case, there are no plains. I must always choose one land of each basic type, irrespectively if it's mine or not. In my case, my opponent doesn't play blue and green, and I must choose 2 of my lands. These 4 lands are destroyed. Scenario 2. Let's add a third player. They are playing a 3-color band deck: white, blue and green. When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield, I must choose a land of each basic type and destroy them. This time I will choose the swamp, the mountain of my first opponent, the plains, the island and the forest of my second opponent. And I will spare my lands. These 5 lands are destroyed. Scenario 3. Let's add a 4th opponent. They are playing a rainbow deck, a 5-color deck, meaning that they need triumphs, hideouts, shocklands, fetchlands, pathways and dual lands. When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield, I must choose a land of each basic type and destroy them. Now I have ample lands to choose from because triumphs, hideouts, shocklands have basic land type. The fetchlands, the dual lands, the pathways and these dual lands don't have a basic land type, therefore I cannot choose them. But triumphs, hideouts and shocklands, I can choose them. I must choose a plain, therefore I can choose the Sacred Foundry. I have to choose an island and I'm going to choose my second opponent island. I have to choose a swamp, I can choose the Triumph. I have to choose a mountain, I'm going to choose this mountain and I'm going to choose also this forest. These 5 lands are destroyed. You must do the same thing if Sundering Titan leaves the battlefield. Some notes. Sundering Titan ability isn't targeting. When it resolves, Sundering Titan's controller must choose one land of each basic land type and then they are destroyed simultaneously. Waste is not a basic land type, therefore you cannot choose a wasteland. Players can take actions in between the time you choose the lands and the time you destroy them. Notably, they can't activate mana abilities of those lands. If one of the basic land types isn't present, it isn't chosen. If the only land of a certain type is one you control, you must choose it. If a land has more than one basic land type, like the Triumph, it can be chosen more than once. So this is how Sundering Titan works. Leave me a comment below. Do you play this card? Have you ever played this card? Have you ever destroyed all the 5 lands? And as always, the same buttons here, subscribe for my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.